In a computer architecture, 16-bit integers, memory addresses, or other data units are those that are at most 16 bits wide. Also, 16-bit CPU and ALU architectures are those that are based on registers, address buses, or data buses of that size. 16-bit is also a term given to a generation of microcomputers in which 16-bit microprocessors were the norm. 16-bit architecture, the MIT Whirlwind was quite possibly the first ever 16-bit computer. Other early 16-bit computers include the IBM 1130, the HP 2100, the Data General Nova, and the DECP DP11. Early multi-chip 16-bit microprocessors include the National Semiconductor IMP16 and the Western Digital MCP 1600. Early single-chip 16-bit microprocessors include the National Semiconductor PACE, the HP BPC, and the TITMS 9900. Other notable 16-bit processors include the Intel 8086, the Intel 80286, the WDC65C816, and the Zilog Z8000. The Intel 8088 was program compatible with the Intel 8086, and was 16-bit in that its registers were 16 bits long and arithmetic instructions, even though its external bus was 8 bits wide. A 16-bit integer can store 216 distinct values. In an unsigned representation, these values are the integers between 0 and 65,535. Using 2's complement, possible values range from a 32,768 to 32,767. Hence, a processor with 16-bit memory addresses can directly access 64 KB of byte-addressable memory. 16-bit processors have been almost entirely supplanted in the personal computer industry, but remain in use in a wide variety of embedded applications. For example, a 16-bit XAP processor is used in many ASICs. The 16/32 bit Motorola 68000 and Intel 386SX. The Motorola 68000 is sometimes called 16-bit because its internal and external data buses were 16 bits wide, however it could be considered a 32-bit processor in that the general-purpose registers were 32 bits wide and most arithmetic instructions supported 32-bit arithmetic. The MC68000 was a microcoded processor with 3 internal 16-bit ALU units. Only 24 bits of the program counter were available on original DIP packages, with up to 16 megabytes of addressable RAM. MC68000 software is 32-bit in nature and forward-compatible with other 32-bit processors in the same family. The MC68008 was a version of the 68000 with 8-bit external data path and 1 megabyte addressing. Several Apple Incorporated Macintosh models. For example, LC series, used 32-bit MC68020 and MC68030 processors on a 16-bit data bus to save cost. Similar analysis applies to Intel's 80286 CPU replacement called the 386SX, which is a 32-bit processor with 32-bit ALU and internal 32-bit data paths with a 16-bit external bus and 24-bit addressing of the processor it replaced. The 68000 processor of the Sega Mega Drive was a highly advertised feature of the video game system. Due to the saturation of this advertising, the 1988 to 1995 era of video game consoles is often called the 16-bit era. Intel 16-bit memory models. Just as there are multiple data models for 64-bit architectures, the 16-bit Intel architecture allows for different memory models, so ways to access a particular memory location. The reason for using a specific memory model is the size of the assembler instructions or required storage for pointers. Compilers of the 16-bit era generally had the following type width characteristic: tiny, code and data will be in the same segment. Near pointers are always used. Code, data and stack together cannot exceed 64K, small, code and data will be in different segments, and near pointers are always used. There will be 64K of space for code and 64K for data stack. Medium, code pointers will use far pointers, enabling access to 1 MB. data pointers remain to be of the near type. Compact data pointers will use far and code will use near pointers. Large huge code and data pointers will be far. 16-bit application. In the context of IBM PC-compatible and Wintel platforms, a 16-bit application is any software written for MS-DOS, OS/21X or early versions of Microsoft Windows which originally ran on the 16-bit Intel 8088 and Intel 80286 microprocessors. Such applications used a 20-bit or 24-bit segment or selector offset address representation to extend the range of addressable memory locations beyond what was possible using only 16-bit addresses. Programs containing more than 216 bytes of instructions and data therefore required special instructions to switch between their 64 kilobyte segments, increasing the complexity of programming 16-bit applications. List of 16-bit CPUs. See also, microprocessor, 16-bit designs, influence of the IBM PC on the personal computer market. Before the IBM PC's introduction, 74181, references.